Bonjour à vous tous et bienvenue à ce 43e épisode de Danganronpa Trigger et havoc. Mon nom est Rekels et j'espère que de votre côté, vous allez bien. Donc au courant du dernier épisode, on a vu que la balle a jonglé d'une place à l'autre pour savoir qui était le coupable. Donc au tout départ du procès, on avait vu que c'était Yashiro. Finalement, on a prouvé que c'était pas lui. Ensuite, Toko. Finalement, on a prouvé que c'était pas elle, que ça ne pouvait pas être elle, du moins qui était venue à bout. Et là, on est sur le cas de Ina. Ina qui voulait absolument qu'on l'accuse pour une raison que j'ignore, mais elle s'est trompée dans la façon qu'elle a bougé dans le Chem Lab, dans le fameux labo de chimie. Donc, elle disait qu'elle avait été de la section A à la section C, et on sait très bien que c'est impossible puisque les pas ne vont seulement que de la porte extérieure à la section C, ou du moins dans ces coins-là. Donc, il n'y a pas personne qui a pu se rendre dans aucune autre des deux sections, puisque la fameuse poudre qui est à terre n'a pas été pilée dedans, n'a pas été déplacée, ou quoi que ce soit d'autre. On va découvrir ensemble qu'est-ce que ça veut dire. Je vous souhaite un bon visionnement. Les poisons étaient déjà changés.
What?
Before I explain that part, I'd like to submit some new evidence.
Oh, une nouvelle preuve, une nouvelle
New
preuve.
evidence? Impossible, there can't be.
Are you sure? After all, you're the one that gave it to me.
I did?
It was hidden inside the bottle of poison you gave me. I'm amazed you, of all people, would miss such a vital clue. A truly grave oversight.
Just say it already! What is it you think you found?
Il est pas content, bien pire.
I found this.
Oh, un morceau de vitre.
It had sunk to the bottom of the bottle. And the hidden clue was exposed, thanks to you ingesting the powder. I couldn't have solved the mystery without you. So, thank you for that.
But, what is it?
Oh, you still don't realize? Well then. Makoto, why don't you explain it?
Bien sûr.
Me?
Fine. If you really do know, explain the meaning of that shard of glass.
C'est la vitre.
I got it!
C'est la vitre. C'est la seule chose qui était bleue.
Part of the window from the rec room door, right?
Yep.
The window?
The window we broke to get in was light blue, just like that. So I think that must be it.
Puis les protéines enzymes étaient sur le dessus de la vitre.
You're right. It must be. Of course, that leads to another question. How did a shard of glass from the window get inside this bottle of poison?
Ça peut faire sens.
What's so strange about that?
Ils sont pas dans la même pièce.
What's strange is that, according to what Hina told us,
Where was it? The bottle of poison should have been where it went through the window. According to Ina told us. C'est dans la section A.
I got it! The bottle of poison was left on the shelf in the chem lab. That is what you said, right, Hina?
Donc, logiquement, quand on a brisé la vitre pour se rendre dans le rec room, c'est impossible que que la fameuse vitre se ramasse dans la bouteille qui est au 4e étage alors que le rec room est au 3e étage.
And yet, somehow a piece of glass from the rec room window made its way into the bottle.
And everything Hina told us was a lie?
In reality, that bottle of poison most definitely found its way to the rec room. It was there at least until the window got broken. In other words, when the locked room was unlocked. There's no other way to explain the presence of that glass in that bottle.
And then, once the room was opened, the bottle somehow got moved back to the shelf in the chem lab. Meanwhile, the protein can we found at the crime scene was planted there. That had to be after the locked room was opened. In other words, after Sakura died.
Wait, hold on. You're moving too fast. I'll grant you, the bottle of poison may well have been in the rec room when it was locked. But how can you say the protein can was put there after the room was unlocked?
Parce que c'était par-dessus la vitre qui a été brisée.
We already know she was given the protein can with the poison inside, right? If that can wasn't there when she died, how did she get poisoned?
You're right. We do need to explain that. But before we do, there's something I'd like to confirm with everyone here.
Huh?
It has to do with the protein can. After Sakura's body was discovered, did anyone move it or trip over it or anything like that?
What are you talking about? Is this some kind of loaded question?
Non, c'est juste une question pour savoir pourquoi il était par-dessus la vitre.
Not at all. Just answer to the best of your ability.
Well, no, not that I remember.
Yeah, me either.
Not me.
Same here. Yeah, me either.
Okay then, that settles it.
Exact.
That proves that the protein can found its way to the murder scene after the room was opened.
Oh, come on! How can you say that? How can you know what I don't know?
Et la raison pourquoi elle dit ça, c'est parce qu'on a une preuve. Et la preuve que la protéine a été emmenée après qu'on ait ouvert la porte, c'est un argument. Ok, empty protein drink, c'est là-dessus qu'on s'en va.
When it comes to that protein can, there's not a doubt in my mind. Until the locked room was unlocked, it absolutely was not in there.
So you're saying someone planted it there after we got the door open?
No. No, that's impossible. It had to have been in there the whole time. It had to be. It was in there before the rec room.
Non, objection, mon cher.
That's wrong. You remember how there was broken glass scattered all around the room, right?
Exactement comme il avait de la vitre qui était étendue partout dans la pièce.
Of course. It came from the window you broke to get in. What about it?
Well, those pieces weren't just scattered around the protein can.
Il était placé en dessous du protéine can.
We also found pieces underneath the can.
Donc elle a été mise là après qu'on ait brisé la vitre.
What?
And this proves it. It shows that the can must have been put down on the floor after the window was broken.
Exact.
So it had to be after we got into the room.
I see. So that's your explanation. Kyoko, earlier when you asked if anyone had moved the can or tripped over it...
C'est pour savoir si quelqu'un l'avait envoyé vers la vitre.
If that were the case, that would explain the can being on top of the glass.
So you asked everyone about it to eliminate that possibility right out of the gate.
And that's made everything clear, hasn't it?
Exact.
As long as it was a locked room, it only contained the bottle of poison, and not the protein can. But once the room was opened up, they were switched, and as a result...
Mais pourquoi que Ina aurait switché les trucs après?
The protein can wound up in the rec room, and the bottle of poison returned to the chem lab.
Ah, pour restaurer l'honneur de Sakura qui s'est suicidée en fait.
If that's all true, then why did Sakura drink the poison? I thought we all agreed she was tricked into drinking it because of the protein can.
No, that's not why.
Elle voulait dueler le
The
mastermind.
only explanation is she drank it from its original bottle, knowing exactly what it was.
Precisely. She was alone in a locked room. All she had was the poison. What other possibility is there?
You're saying she drank it knowing what it was? Such a ridiculous fiction as...
Exactly what happened.
Then tell us already. Sorry. Please, tell us.
Oh, il a changé de ton enfin.
Before we get to that, we need to clarify one other thing. We need to establish who exactly got the poison from the chem lab and took it to the rec room.
It was Hina, right? She took it and gave it to Ogre.
Non, c'est elle qui l'a emmené.
What do
elle-même.
you think, Makoto?
C'est lui qui a amené le poison du Chem Lab au Rec Room ne peut être nul autre que Sakura.
I got it!
À cause justement de la poudre qui
I
était
think
sur son
it
pied.
was Sakura herself.
Huh? So Sakura, who was apparently murdered, just poisoned herself?
Yep.
What are you talking about? There's no way!
On the contrary, we know for a fact she went to the chem lab, right to the section full of poisons.
You're lying! Stop lying!
Oh bon pas. Parce qu'elle
Why?
l'a-
Why would you lie like that?
C'est elle qui a échappé la bouteille. C'est elle qui a mis de la poudre sur ses pieds. Ce n'est pas un mensonge. Sakura a vraiment été vers la section T. J'ai besoin de faire en sorte qu'Ina l'admette. Ok, fait qu'on a un argument. Oh non. C'est un moment of truth. Non, pas ça.
You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! Just let it end
Il y a
already!
bien quelque chose que je déteste, c'est bien ça.
You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you! You're a liar! What are you saying? Wrong! You're wrong! Just let it end already! You're a liar! Wrong! You're wrong! I hate you! You're a liar! I'm telling you, I did it! I hate you!
Et voilà, c'est fait.
Do you have any kind of proof Sakura took the poison?
Come on!
This should prove it.
Ouf! Que c'était juste, je suis pas mal sûr, c'est limite sur un méchant temps. Ouh!
Hina, did you know that Sakura's foot had a certain yellow powder stuck to it?
It did?
Ok, oui, elle avait de la poudre jaune sur le dessus d'un de ses pieds.
It did. The same yellow powder that had been spilled by the shelf in the chem lab. That powder was yellow, wasn't it?
Exact.
So the powder we found on Sakura, what else could it be but the powder from the chem lab?
Wait. So, what was that powder doing on Ogre's foot?
C'est elle qui a brisé la bouteille à
And it
terre.
was only on her instep, right?
Exact. Son pied qui était dirigé vers la bouteille qui a brisé.
Sakura must have been standing right there where the powder was spilled. So the person who spilled the powder by the shelf wasn't Hina, but Sakura. And when Sakura dropped the bottle, she dropped it away from where she was actually standing,
Pour pas laisser de traces.
which is how she was able to avoid getting it all over herself. But the powder still got scattered around, and some of it must have wound up on her instep. Is there any problem with my thinking?
Non, c'est parfait.
But why did Sakura pay a visit to Section C in the first place? The only explanation is that she was looking for poison. After all, that's all that section contained.
No! It was me! The poison! Because...
Nope.
Because I killed her!
Non, tu l'as pas tué,
No,
là.
you didn't kill her.
La personne qui a tué Sakura, la connexion entre Sakura et le poison, et le fameux mystère de la chambre close, il y a un seul moyen de l'expliquer. Et c'est notre amie Sakura qui s'est tuée elle-même. Elle est où? Elle est là. Oh wow, j'aurais été plus vite d'aller de l'autre bord.
Here's my answer.
C'est bien ce que je pensais.
The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
Quand j'ai vu la pièce fermée, c'était clair, c'était ça. Ça avait pas de sens que ça soit autre chose.
What? The killer was Sakura?
Wait, so you're saying it was suicide?
Yes, c'est toi,
I
c'est
don't
toi.
believe it. I don't believe it any more than I believe I can fly.
I can't believe it either. Or rather, I don't want to believe it. But when you really think about it, everything matches up. Sakura went and got the poison. She barricaded herself in a room. And she drank it, all so she could end her own life. And that explains why we couldn't solve the mystery of the locked room.
C'est elle-même qui l'a créé,
I got
le
it!
lock room. La
The
fameuse chambre
locked
close.
room mystery was created by Sakura.
I'm sure she locked herself in so nobody could stop her from doing what she did.
Ah, c'est sûr.
She sat there, drank the poison, and breathed her last breath. And the empty bottle of poison rolled around the locked room until we came and opened it. At that point, someone grabbed the bottle and snuck it out of the room.
C'est Ina, c'est sûr.
And that was you, wasn't it, Hina? You did it to throw off the investigation, didn't you? When we found her body, you stayed right there near the door.
C'est la seule qui reste en arrière, effectivement.
Because you already knew Sakura was dead. And because the bottle of poison had rolled near the doorway.
That's when you picked up the bottle, right? I was too shocked to notice anything, and Kyoko was busy checking the body.
And the more I think about it, the more I realize how unusual your actions were.
De pas vouloir laisser rentrer personne et tout. I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. On shaky legs. Ouais, elle est partie tout de suite aller chercher les autres alors que
You
Redwood restait là.
said you were going to go get everyone else.
C'est là qu'elle a profité pour aller changer les bouteilles.
But your real intention was to go to the chem lab and switch out the containers,
That's
wasn't it? Once you were at the chem lab, you headed straight to the section where the protein powder was kept. There, you took the powder and poured it into the bottle of poison you'd grabbed from the rec room. When you left the lab, all you had was the empty protein can. Thinking about it like that, the footprints make perfect sense.
When you were done, you gathered everyone together. And once you were back in the rec room,
I guess there was one. Whoa, Ogre! So she's dead? Sakura's been killed, I see.
while everyone else was focused on Sakura, you quietly placed the can on the ground. Honestly, I should have noticed. You should have been the first one to run up to Sakura's lifeless body. The Hina I know never would have left her side in a situation like that.
So, Sakura committed suicide. In order to hide this fact, Hina undertook a series of actions to undermine the investigation. As long as you could disguise the truth, you didn't care if we blamed you for her death. That's why you didn't bother to get rid of such obvious evidence, right? The footprints in the powder and the bottle of poison? Vital pieces of evidence, and yet...
So you're saying Hina consciously deceived us to make it look like she killed Sakura?
Wait.
No! No!
No,
I killed her! I did it!
That's enough, Hina. It's over.
It's not! Nothing's over!
It is. Actually, no. You're right. You have to end this properly.
On a voté. Faut qu'on refasse la reconstitution. Ok, good. Donc, Sakura qui va porter les lettres en dessous. Il nous manque celle de Byakuya. Acte 2. Elle arrive et elle va se cacher dans le casier. Donc, elle est dans le casier. Elle voit Sakura rentrer. Yashiro rentre. Sakura lui donne un fameux bonbon. Yashiro commence à capoter parce qu'il pense qu'elle va le tuer. Grab une bouteille et la brise sur la tête de Sakura. Ok, attends. La bouteille revole en éclats. Je sais voir s'il n'y aurait pas une autre belle image. Non. Ok, donc, il écrit le toco pour faire passer ça sur son dos, ne sachant pas qu'elle était cachée derrière lui, dedans le casier. Il s'enfuit. Elle voit tout ça, sort du casier, tranquillement, remarque le toco qui est écrit sur le truc, le remet sur le shelf à l'envers, alors que, à ce moment-là, Sakura se lève. Et elle le remarque. Ayant beaucoup de sang sur Sakura, elle perd connaissance et on a Genocide Jill qui se réveille. Genocide Jill s'étire, prend la bouteille avec la reine et fracasse la tête de Sakura pour une seconde fois avec la fameuse bouteille. Mais pour pas faire passer le tout, elle ramasse la bouteille, ben le plus qu'elle peut de la bouteille et décampe de là. Acte 5, Sakura qui est comme, voyons donc, ça fait 2 fois que je me fais taper la tête, c'est quoi cette histoire-là? Je voulais juste leur parler. Ça tient la tête à 2 mains. Ah, d'abord, on va aller voir qu'est-ce que j'ai comme possibilité. Prends la bouteille de poison qui était sur elle-même. Ah, là, ouais. Là, elle est déjà bu, là, elle est pleine. Prends la bouteille de poison et se dit, il faut en finir, on va la voir. À ce moment-là, Hina vient nous rechercher en bas. On arrive devant la pièce. On voit Sakura qui est morte malheureusement sur le canapé. Et on réussit à finalement ouvrir la porte pour aller voir le corps. Pendant ce temps-là, Hina, qui remarque que la bouteille a roulé, ramasse la bouteille vide. Et sort de la pièce en mentionnant qu'elle s'en va chercher les autres. Mais lorsqu'elle revient avec tout le monde, elle sort la verse rouge, n'oubliez pas, c'est celle d'Hina, la bouteille d'enzyme de sa poche et la met au sol. Et voilà comment ça s'est passé, le tout.
The killer is you! This case began when Sakura asked a number of people to meet her in the rec room. Specifically, those people were Hiro, Toko, and Byakuya. But one of them headed out a bit earlier than the others, Toko. She got there one step ahead of everyone else and looked around for a good hiding spot. And she found it. She crawled into the locker to get out of sight. Then, from inside the locker, she saw Sakura enter the room. Next to arrive was Hiro. When he got there, he mistakenly thought Sakura was going to try to kill him, so he panicked.
Elle lui a juste donné un bonbon, c'est ça le pire.
Without thinking, he grabbed a nearby Monokuma bottle and attacked Sakura with it. Thinking he'd killed her, he hastily began covering up his crime. He took a magazine from the table and forged a dying message from Sakura. To that end, he wrote down a name.
Toko. C'est quand même drôle la coïncidence.
By writing her name, he was hoping to pin the murder on her. But of course, Toko had witnessed the whole thing. So as soon as the coast was clear, she jumped out of the locker and hid the magazine on the shelf with all the others. But in her rush, she made one little mistake.
Le mis à l'envers.
She put the magazine back upside down. Soon after, she watched as Sakura slowly opened her eyes. She also saw the blood dripping off Sakura's head and fainted. This caused her personality to switch back over to Genocide Jack. When she woke back up, her second personality also saw the blood-soaked Sakura. And she freaked out. And just like Hiro, she grabbed another Monokuma bottle and attacked her. This explains why there were 2 wounds on Sakura's head. Assuming Sakura really was dead this time, she set about disposing of the evidence. She gathered up the broken Monokuma bottle shards and the queen chess piece. And that explains how Sakura was attacked twice with the same type of weapon.
Mais c'est pas le game off.
But even after those 2 blows, she was still alive. So then, what was Sakura's actual cause of death?
La fameux poison.
It was the poison that Sakura herself got from the chem lab. She turned the rec room into a true locked room scenario, and then drank the deadly mixture. And there, she took her final breath. Later on, the rest of us discovered that her body was in there. We had to smash the door's window to get inside. But someone already knew what had happened, knew that she had committed suicide. And that same someone quietly snatched the bottle of poison from off the ground.
Elle a été la porter dans le bas, puis elle est revenue porter celui-là, l'enzyme-là.
And while
voilà.
nobody was looking, replaced it with an empty protein can.
100%
They
pas
did all
d'erreur.
this specifically to place all the suspicion on themselves. in an attempt to guide the trial to a false conclusion. And the one who went to all that effort
C'était Ina. Mais c'est pas elle qui a fait le meurtre. C'est un suicide.
was you, Hina. That's the full truth of the case.
Ouais.
Sakura took her own life, and you claim to be the killer to hide that fact. Isn't that right?
Vous dites que Monokuma pourra pas punir personne.
That's what happened? But, Makoto, how did you...
Il est
How
tellement...
did you manage to...
Il comprend plus rien, lui, là.
How were you able to uncover the truth that even I couldn't discern?
J'espère que ça va le faire retomber de son piédestal un peu pour être vrai.
Huh? Oh, well, I mean...
You still haven't realized? We don't all act according to calculations and cost-benefit diagrams. That's what makes us so complicated. That's what you don't understand. And that's why you couldn't solve this case.
C'était ça le duel.
See? Didn't I tell you? When you dismiss other people's feelings, it'll always come back to bite you in the end.
Donc, on a quand même eu un très bon court, pour vrai. Un très bon procès. 1229 points, ça veut dire environ 123, ici, il nous le donne. 122, parce qu'on n'a pas atteint le 1230. Bon, pas grave. On a quand même eu ça.
Okay. I think we can all agree you made your point. Did you guys forget already? You still haven't voted yet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You seriously forgot? I can feel my energy draining out of me. Well, whatever. You don't really have a choice anyway. You just gotta do it. Maybe you don't want to, but please grab your lever and cast your vote.
Bon,
So, who will be chosen as the blackened?
on le sait que c'est Sakura,
Will you
là.
make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Comment il va réagir à tout ça, lui? Je pense pas que c'était dans ses plans que quelqu'un se suicide pendant son jeu.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. The one who killed Sakura was Sakura herself.
My entire existence!
Okay, we're done here.
What did you say?
So that's the whole truth? Huh? I see. But there's still one thing I don't understand.
Come on.
You know, why did you try to cover up what happened? If the truth hadn't come to light, you would have died along with the rest of us.
What are you thinking?
And yet you... Why did you do that?
Don't be mean!
Yeah, we almost died here.
What is this?
Because that's exactly what I wanted. What? I mean, the reason Sakura died is because all of you pushed her into a corner. You all killed her. So that's why
You should have been the one to
I
die.
couldn't let her be the only one that died.
What?
You don't mean you were gonna take us all with you? We have to atone for our sins. Because everyone, even me, we all killed her. We all have to pay for our crimes. For serious? That?
What is
You
this?
still don't understand? Then let me explain. Do you realize just how much despair Sakura was carrying with her when she died? Look at this. Such brutality has made me desperate. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hand. Oh, il y avait même une lettre de suicide! That. I found it on the ground, in front of the rec room. It's Sakura's suicide note. Suicide note? Thinking back, I should have seen it coming. It was right after Genocide Jack had attacked me. Sakura got mad and stormed out of the nurse's office. I ran out after her, and... Sakura, calm down. You don't have to worry about me. I'm fine. I can't calm down. I don't care if I suffer this for this. It's my fault after all. But now, you're suffering because of me.
No forgiveness!
You tried to protect me, but because of me,
I can't forgive this!
my closest friend got hurt. Sakura,
I...
because of me, my friends are all going to kill each other. This is all my responsibility. Sakura thought she was responsible. She thought everything was her fault. Which is why she wanted to find some way to get everyone to forgive her. So she has to meet with them.
Huh?
You asked to meet with those three? You can't. Don't you see how dangerous this is? Don't worry. I just want to talk to them.
But...
Talked about what? Listen, don't do it. If they all gang up on you at once, even you...
Hina.
Please. Don't think of things like that. They're not my enemy.
They're friends.
Sakura. She clearly believed. She completely believed in all of us. If you don't just talked to her, you would have understood. Understood. Whatever. She was a friend to all of us. And yet...
Why?
And yet... You trampled all over our feelings, and then you did the unthinkable. No. That was just a misunderstanding.
What are you saying?
Don't stand there and call it a misunderstanding. She believed in you, and you wouldn't even listen to what she had to say. Without asking a single question, you tried to kill her.
I won't forgive you.
Do you have any idea how desperate she was? Seeing you act like that? That's what her suicide note means. So instead of just waiting to be killed, I'll do it by my own hand.
Why?
That's all for you pushed her.
Huh?
Sakura, what happened to you?
Hina.
You came. Wait, right here. I'll help you out.
Hina.
Huh?
I'm so glad I got to meet you. What's wrong, Sakura? Why are you talking like that?
I have a favor to ask.
Huh?
A favor?
Some protein.
Could I ask you to? Yeah, you got it. Just hang on. I'll be right back. Puis quand elle est partie, c'est là qu'elle s'est suicidée. That was the last conversation I had with her. I went to the chem lab to get the protein she asked me for. When I got there, I saw the powder. And that's when I realized. I saw that someone had taken something from the poison shelf, Sakura. So I ran back to the rec room as fast as I could. But by the time I got there, it was already too late. She was already dead. Donc elle était déjà morte quand elle est revenue. Sakura, let me in, please, open the door.
Why? Why?
Why did she have to die? She had weaknesses, just like any other person. If she got cut, she bled. If someone hurt her, she felt it. That weakness, that's normal. And yet,
Why?
you all blamed her. I tried to protect her, and I suffered for it. And that just added to the weight she had to carry. And I didn't even realize it. We killed her, all of us. We pushed her into a corner, and we murdered her. People like us shouldn't be allowed to live. And that's why you tried to lead us astray. You did your best to make us arrive at the wrong conclusion during the class trial. Sakura died, hating all of us. I wanted to free her of her regrets. But even that got found out. In the end, I wasn't able to do anything for her. I could never face her after this.
Hey! Hey!
I'm sorry to interrupt right when you're about to deliver the final Turgiker, but...
Hey!
It's just taking too long. Long! I'm about to fall asleep over here. I mean, do you really think you have any idea what Sakura was actually thinking when she died?
What is this?
What did you say? Everything you just said is nothing but your interpretation, right? Your own opinion on what her suicide note means.
What are you saying?
Of course. I know what she was thinking. Cause her and me...
In other words...
Well, what I'm really trying to say is...
Yes, indeed!
Don't you think the entire foundation is shaky? What if it really was ready like this?
What the heck?
What is this?
Of course!
Isn't it obvious?
Yep.
A suicide note. Sakura's suicide note. Tout ceci s'est révélé être un suicide, malheureusement. Sakura en est venue à bout de elle-même. C'est pas facile à Ina d'accepter le cas. Par contre, peut-être que ce qu'on a vu à la fin va révéler plus d'ample d'informations sur ce qui s'est passé. On a vu que Monokuma avait joué avec la lettre de suicide de Sakura. Donc peut-être que ce qu'il va révéler dans cette nouvelle lettre, qui était la vraie, va révéler l'intention de Sakura en arrière de tout ça. Mais entre-temps, si vous voulez voir l'action en live sur Twitch, vous allez pouvoir avoir le lien juste ici. Sinon, vous pouvez toujours le retrouver dans la description de cette vidéo. Je vous souhaite de passer une excellente fin de journée ou une excellente fin de journée. Un gros merci à vous autres d'avoir écouté cette vidéo jusqu'au bout. Et prenez soin de vous, guys. C'est ce qui est le plus important. À la prochaine. Bye bye.